McGuire, the Chief Executive Officer at XM Australia, as well as Sabyasachi Ray, the ED at GJEPC, talking to us about what the gold demand is likely to be and where it is expected to tread. Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks so much for making time and speaking with us. Peter, I wanted to begin by discussing with you what, if at all, would mean consolidation or a bit in gold prices, bit of a dip in gold prices, because for now it knows only one direction.
Well, good morning. Absolutely. I mean, it's been aggressive buying, an aggressive move to the upside since really October last year. We had that low of 1810 or so. We're now on the futures running at about nearly 2700 and 2685. It's been incredibly bid up. What derails it? Well, I really don't know. It's so difficult to put to try and identify something. You would need to see a big push up in the US dollar. I think you'd need to see all of the geopolitical tensions subside. And I just don't think that that's going to happen anytime soon. And there's a lot of, I think, the degree of central bank buying has been overwhelming, and retail is right across it as well. So I think it's only one-way traffic, and it seems to be onward and upward at the moment.
Seems to be onward and upward in the moment. Doesn't seem like this is going to relent anytime soon. But Sabyasachi, welcome to the show. Just wanted to understand, where is it that you as well feel gold is headed? I mean, we've seen the all-time high sustained for quite some time now. Is it going to be this case for, the next few months as well? Or do you think gold per se is in a perhaps decadal long bull market and the gains are going to be intact?
So see, what we are right now see is that all the contours or all the coordinates are favoring the gold price. So if you see what is happening is that you have seen the Fed has already cut the rates, and not only they have cut the rates, they have also told a roadmap of cutting the rates in the next 6 months to 1 year period. So if this is the highway, what they have told, so gold will run in that highway and it will go and hit new, I think, benchmarks, whatever we are seeing. Not only that, you are also seeing the geopolitical tensions. 2 wars are going on, and in the Middle East, which is one of the biggest gold markets, is already expanding. That if the war is expanding, we do not see that an investor material gold is coming down in any time soon. And not only that, if you see what is happening, the demand supply also, you have seen that in India also there's a rate cut recently happening. So in India also demand has surged, the jewelry demand, and also if you're seeing the ETF, etc. demand, understanding the rally what gold is doing. So all these factors are already supporting the pricing of gold. And if you have seen in recent times, Poland has invested gold, the Polish government has bought a lot of gold, and I think just yesterday only Russia has announced that they will be also investing in gold. So if this trend continues, I do not see the gold coming down, and it may reach a peak where nobody has seen. I think $3,000 or something, which is also very optimistic. But if this continues, I do not see that something coming down in recent future.
Point taken. So you're not expecting it to come down, but also wanted your take, Mr. Sabyasachi, as to how it's impacting the demand back home in terms of the consumer. Is the hefty price making it difficult for buyers to look at it, or the demand continues unabated?
See, the demand continues unabated because, in India, the whole issue, whenever you're buying jewelry, a lot of it goes into the investment potential of it. So if people find that gold as the price is rising, gold is a very good investment instrument, then of course it will not abate. So it will go up. And in India, you have seen that the GDP is growing, the disposable incomes are growing. I do not see that in India, the demand going down.
Quite interesting. Peter, how is it that you're looking at, the entire demand-supply dynamics? Like the other expert, Mr. Ray, just talked about as to how, the geopolitical tensions as well are escalating the asset class per se. But that's happening with equities too. So just wanted to understand, given this parameter, what about demand? Because, I mean, typically and traditionally, if an asset class is in a bubble territory or has seen a big bull move, the demand is going to abate a little bit, but that doesn't seem to be happening in the case of gold.
I think a couple of things. First off, that central bank demand globally has been extraordinary, and that hasn't been over the last couple of weeks. That's been over the last decade, and certainly over the last 4 or 5 years, it's been tremendous appetite. Secondly, there's a high degree of traders, not only paper market, but physical, and certainly in India and the likes of China and Asia and the Middle East, that it's a store of value, and it's been very much a part of their whole culture for millennia. And they're realizing that there's a degree of, whilst we've got bullishness across many asset classes, we've also got a degree of fear in the market. And there's a degree of one-way traffic for the gold market has just been extraordinary over the last year. And people have bought into that, where they're saying it was 2,200 the new high, 23, 24. Now we're just shy of 2650, 2,700. It's just extraordinary. So yes, there could be a pullback, but I think that the overall appetite is very, very solid. And it just seems to be, again, with the other speaker saying, central banks cutting rates and the attractiveness to asset classes like gold has been extraordinary.
Demand for gold continues to be very strong, especially from the central banks. But Peter, is it expected to have a rub-off impact on other precious metals as well, silver and the likes?
Anisha, I think silver, yes, absolutely. There's been an underinvestment in the silver market, Anisha, for the best part of 2 decades. And I feel as though at $32 a troy ounce, it's extraordinarily cheap. If you're looking at the gold to silver ratio, I think there's more upside for silver than there will be for gold. And once it starts to bite, it's really going to be onward and upward, because quite simply, you've got a huge demand for, not only from a jewelry perspective, but an industry. And industry needs silver, and their appetite has certainly not waned in any fashion or form. So I think the overall momentum for the silver market over the next year and a half is going to be, knock the lights out. I can't say what ceiling it's going to be, but $35 has got to be the new target. And let's just see how aggressive it actually achieves that range.
Mr. Ray, amidst all of the precious metals, and you can include gold, silver, platinum, and even lab-grown diamonds for that matter over here, wanted to understand whether the demand for gold is going to continue unabated. I mean, soon we're going to be stepping into the festive season and then the wedding season and so on and so forth, because of course, the lure for silver is not as much as gold, and especially when it comes to household consumption. And even lab-grown diamonds, for that matter, is nothing but a very niche, urban consumption trend, if you will.
Yes, if you talk about gold, as I have already mentioned, the gold demand I do not see anywhere the gold demand coming down. If you see the retailers, etc., the price is a dampener to an extent, but if the price stabilizes a bit, then the gold will continue this run. So I do not see in this festive season gold coming down, because in the middle class and in the Indian asset class, if the gold prices are high and the gold has given a good returns in the last 1 or 2 years, of course we'll go on investing into gold as jewelry also, not only as bar or ETFs. So this is one part. And if you also see China, China has also moved a lot from towards gold, and the gold, if you see all the retailers, their numbers, that is also showing huge growth in the demand of gold. And now if you're talking about lab-grown is one product, I think, that US demand for lab-grown has grown very robustly. And in India, of course, in recent time, lab-growns have made a dent, but that is just the beginning. What has happened, US has matured in terms of lab-grown. In India, it has not matured. It is a start, but of course, there's a lot of curiosity and a lot of as you have rightly pointed out, in the urban market, there is a lot of curiosity of the people. And as the Indian retail is growing at a breakneck pace, of course, there will be demand. But how it will grow, it will also depend upon how the price remains stable for lab-grown.
And finally, Peter, let me get in a thought from you as well as to what the outlook is when it comes to lab-grown diamonds. I just wonder if you have any views on how you're looking at it, particularly from a standpoint of across the globe. Is it a very urban consumption sort of a trend? Is it impacting the overall natural diamond demand?
Well, I think, overall, you've got strong demand there, and I can't see that naturally, cutting back. Everyone's got their own opinion as far as the diamond market. Many people look at it as a store of wealth. It's a huge industry. It can't be disputed, and it just depends on what someone's appetite is. Are they looking for a diamond to achieve, the intrinsic value, and is it, from an investment standpoint, the capital growth, or are they going to look at other markets that are, I think, possibly more upside and more potential, being precious metals? So it just depends. I'm not a real specialist when it comes to the diamond market, but I'm very conscious of the impact it has to the overall sector.
So that's the latest coming in on gold, silver, lab-grown diamonds. Thanks, gentlemen, for making time and speaking with us. Let's see where all these commodities head from here on. But shifting focus.
There comes a time when your heart calls for you to arise. Plant your feet solid into the ground. Decide your own limits. And then break right through them. Become something more. It's my time to rise.